Okay, let's see this question. So this equation, we want to solve for x. We have 3 raised by x plus 4 raised by x minus 2 equals to 6 raised by x minus 1. Well, of course, minus 2, minus 1, we can combine them. So move -1 to the other side, become +1. Okay. So these two combine to be -1 on the right-hand side. Then 3 raised by x, let's just rewrite it. 3 raised by x plus 4 raised by x. Well, we have 3 raised by x, 4 raised by x, and 6 raised by x. We want to make connections out of those three. So we see 3 is a prime. We cannot do anything with it. But 4 is 2 squared. So we rewrite 4 as 2 squared, then raised by x. Then this is 6 raised by x. We want to move to the left-hand side, becomes negative. So minus 6 raised by x. But 6 is 2 times 3. So we want to split 6 as 2 multiplied by 3, then raised by x. Now, 6 raised by x minus 1 be moved to the left-hand side. So the right-hand side, we're left with 0. When we solve for equations, so normally we like to use this method, which is we want to put the expression in the factored form. Then we use a 0 property. So what is that? Let's see, if we have an equation, we have factors like a times b, or can have as many factors as possible that equals 0. So the product of those factors to be 0, that means at least one of them has to be 0, right? So either a is 0 or b is 0, so on and so forth. Then we solve from there. So we solve this equation that way. So now let's observe. So 3 raised by x. Oh, let's just write 3 raised by x. Then let's see this term. This term we can split as 2 raised by x times 3 raised by x, right? So minus 2 raised by x times 3 raised by x. Then this term we can rewrite as plus 2 raised by x squared. 2 layers of exponents, right? We multiply them. So we have 2 raised by 2x. And this equals to 2 raised by x squared. Like, because we multiply the 2 exponents. All right, so then minus 1. 1 we can think as 1 squared, right? Now these two we see is difference of 2 squares. And this 2 has a common factor of 3 raised by x. Right, this one we can think as 1 times 3 raised by x. So we factor out 3 raised by x. Then the first term we left with 1. The second term we left with minus 2 raised by x. Then plus these two terms is difference of 2 squares. So it can be split as 2 raised by x minus 1 times 2 raised by x plus 1 equals to 0. Now, it looks like we don't have a common factor, but observe these two terms. Observe 1 minus 2 raised by x and 2 raised by x minus 1. Right, 1 minus 2 raised by x. We can factor out negative sign. That's exactly 2 raised by x minus 1. Negative 2x, negative 1 is positive 1. We still have 1 minus 2 raised by x. So let's write that way. So let's rewrite as 2 raised by x minus 1 times, or let's put negative sign here, times 3 raised by x, right? The second term doesn't change. The second term, we still have 2 raised by x minus 1 times 2 raised by x plus 1. That equals 0. Now we have a common factor. Now the common factor is 2 raised by x minus 1. So let's factor out 2 raised by x minus 1. Then the first group left with a negative 3 raised by x. Negative 3 raised by x. The second group left with plus 2 raised by x plus 1. that equals 0. So now we have two factors. So this is a factor, this is a factor. So it's like a times b, right? So that means this factor can be 0 or this factor can be 0. So 2 raised by x minus 1 can be 0. So solve this one. Let's keep in one page. Solve this one, we can rewrite as 2 raised by x equals to 1 with plus 1 on both sides. Well, 1 can be written as 2 raised by 0. So for this one, we have a solution x equals to 0. Now the second factor can be 0. The second factor is negative 3 raised by x plus 2 raised by x plus 1 equals to 0. So that can be written as 1 equals to 3 raised by x minus 2 raised by x. Obviously, x equals to 1 is a solution. Right? 3 raised by 1 is 3, 2 raised by 1 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. But do we have any other solution? Let's think about f of x equals to 3 raised by x minus 2 raised by x. Right? So this is a difference. This is either one is exponential function. Exponential function. Exponential function looks like this, increasing, right? Because 3 raised by x minus 2 raised by x is always greater than 0. So we have an increasing function. And this function we see is a one-to-one function. So when the function f of x equals to 1, that means somewhere, that's this point, is 1, right? No, it doesn't have to be here. So somewhere f of x equals to 1. So that means x that can only corresponding to one x value. It's different from, like say, quadratic functions. Quadratic functions, we may have, right, two x values for the same y value. But exponential function is one-to-one function, so we won't have it. So that's verifies the equation only has two solutions. One is x equals 0, the second one is x equals 1. So let's go back to check. If x equals 0, we have 3 raised by 0, which is 1. We have 4 raised by 0, which is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So we get a 0 on the left-hand side. And 6 raised by 0 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Right, so bingo. So it is a solution. So 0 is a solution. Now let's check 1. 3 raised by 1, 3. Plus 4 raised by 1, 4. 7 minus 2, that equals 5. The left-hand side equals 5. Well, 6 raised by 1 is a 6. 6 minus 1, that's 5 also. Okay, so two solutions for this question.